both sides of the story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com. 45 or in the UK, and in Germany 051-180-904044. Our email address is both sides 106 at live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have two ears and one mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
We heard me. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Let's go with the Hail
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Hail the man.
Yes, both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
We'll talk about this movie.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Let's stand by and sing it.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
We good now, studio?
Both sides of the story.
Let's stand.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
All right, let's go, studio.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manner of thy friends or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
What would you say to the coming of a brand new day, when the shadows are falling away, even from the eyes of yore? Express it if you might, as the passing of the night and the coming of the light through a brand new door. How do you tell Everybody, everything will be well. And the sound of the spitting of the bell is just too good to ignore. You say, hey, my man, that's your brother on the street.
1, 2, 3, 4,
You say,
5.
hey, my man, every time we meet. Ooh, hey, brother, equal man, hey, sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day. And we can say it anyway, but what we really want to see is love, 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 love. Hey, brother, equal man, hey, sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day. But what we really want to see is love, 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 love. Love is a door, step into the light of day. We're gonna find us a way that we knew all along. Love is a thing, or a beggar, or a king. And peace grows wings when love is the song. Oh, hey, my man, that's your brother on the street. You say, hey, my man, every time we meet. Oh, hey, brother, equal man, hey, sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day. And we can say it anyway, but what we really want to say is love, 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 love. Hey, my man, that's your brother on the street. Ooh, hey, my man, every time we meet. Ooh, hey, brother, equal man, hey, sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day. We can say it anyway, but what we really want to say is love, 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 love. Hey, my man, that's your brother on the street. You say, hey, my man, every time we meet.
Studio, not sure what you're saying about audio. From what I'm seeing here, the audio is
shake your
fine.
hand, it's a brand new day. We can see it anyway.
Are you not hearing
What
it
we really
clearly?
want to see is love, 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 love. Hey, my man, that's your brother on the street. We say, hey, my man, every time we meet. Whoa, hey, brother.
Is everything all right in the studio? Are you not hearing me clearly? 1, 2, 3, mic, 1, 2.
What would you say to the coming of a brand new day when the shadows are falling away, even from the eyes of your express it if you might, as the
Yes.
passing of the night and the coming of the light through a brand new door.
So you weren't hearing anything at all earlier on?
Everybody, everything will be well. And the sound of the spitting of the bell is just too
So I'm saying you weren't hearing anything at all earlier on?
You say, hey, my man, that's your brother on the street.
So I'm still on Rick 1, I
You
have
say,
to.
hey, my man, every time we meet.
Alright.
Ooh, hey, brother, equal man, hey, sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day. And we can say it anyway, but what we really want to see is love, 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 love. Hey, brother, equal man, hey,
Let's go.
sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day.
Ernie Smith, Hail the Man, the theme song for today. And we matched that with the poem, No Man is an Island. In case you missed it, no man is an island entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less. as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manner of thy friends or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind. And therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee.
That's your brother on the street. Ooh, hail man, every time we meet. Ooh, hey, your brother, equal man. Hey, sister, shake a hand. It's a brand new day. We can say it anyway, or what we really want to say.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 17th day of the 11th month of 2021. The International Year of Peace and Trust. The International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development. The International Year of Fruits and Vegetables. The International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor. And the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the 17th day of the 6th month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. And according to the National Meteorological Service here in Jamaica, there's a high pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. Closer to home, there's a high pressure ridge across Jamaica. And remember when you hear of a high pressure ridge, think fair weather. The weather is fair. Once there's that high pressure ridge, it means expect fair weather. FAIR. So there's a high pressure ridge across Jamaica. The ridge is expected to build temporarily across the island into Thursday. That's tomorrow. On Friday, a trough. And remember when you hear the word trough, think cloudiness, think showers, think thunder showers. So on the one hand, we have the ridge, as in the high pressure ridge, which is indicative of fair weather, generally speaking. And on the other hand, we have the trough, which is usually associated with let's just say not so fair weather. Some people call it bad weather, but is there such a thing? Debate that. So the trough represents or is indicative of usually cloudiness, showers, and thunder showers. So as it is now, there's a high pressure ridge across Jamaica. Fair weather. And the ridge is expected to build temporarily, it's not going to last long, temporarily across the island into tomorrow, Thursday. On Friday, a trough will move across the island and will linger into the weekend. We'll tell you some more after the break.
It's a brand new day, and we can say it anyway.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Our family and friends are a big part of who we are. And when it comes to keeping you connected to them, Grace Kennedy Money Services Western Union makes it safer and easier. Now friends and family overseas can use the Western Union app or westernunion.com to send money directly to your bank account without leaving home. A Western Union money transfer directly into your bank account with a direct-to-bank service. Register online at gkmsonline.com and share your banking details with your sender so you don't have to leave home to collect.
Experience crazy low prices during the Home and Things Mowing Madness sale. Yes, get big discounts on all mowing faucets, sinks, and bathroom accessories. Not to mention huge discounts on bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors, and much more. Check out the new arrivals of tiles at ridiculously low prices. You can't afford to miss the Mowing Madness sale at Home and Things, Wallop Road and Constant Spring Road. Top quality products at unbelievable low prices. With prices this low, you think we're going insane?
Giving them the positive.
The Bureau of Gender Affairs of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport presents a focus on International Men's Day under the theme Outstanding Men, Leading by Example. Tune into Power Talk with Simon Crossgill from the Knutsford Court Hotel this Wednesday, November 17 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This broadcast is brought to you by the Bureau of Gender Affairs, an agency of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. That's a live broadcast of Power Talk focusing on International Men's Day from the Knutsford Court Hotel this Wednesday, November 17 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness Month, and this Wednesday, November 17, we'll discuss the basics of diabetes and the role of a diabetes educator and the impact of diabetes on women's health. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on eye, mouth, and foot care. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbour, St. Catherine. P.A. Benjamin, a trusted name for over a century. National Health Fund, your partner for healthy living. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited, Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbour. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 17 at 8 p.m. only on Power 106 FM.
Step into the light of day. We're gonna find us a way. Love is a thing, or a beggar or a king, and peace grows wings when love is the song. Whoa, hey, man, that's your brother on the street. You say, hey, man, every time with me. Whoa, hey, brother, equal man, hey, sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day. And we can say it anyway, but what we really want to say is love, 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 love. Hey, little man, that's your brother on the street. Ooh, hey, little man, every time with me. Ooh, hey, brother, equal man.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. As we close off that bit on the weather. As we said, a high-pressure ridge across Jamaica, expected to build temporarily across the island into tomorrow, Thursday. On Friday, a trough will move across the island and linger into the weekend. So that high-pressure ridge, indicative of fair weather. The trough, indicative of not so fair weather. And the forecast for the rest of this afternoon, isolated showers and thunderstorms mainly across hilly inland areas and western parishes, partly cloudy elsewhere. And we can tell you as well that the tonight will become fair. Observances for the month of November. Let's remind ourselves that here in Jamaica we're still observing November as Science and Technology Month, Youth Month, Parents Month, Local Government Month, Rural Development Month, Diabetes Awareness Month, Epilepsy Awareness Month, Drug Abuse Awareness Month, Food Month, Eat Jamaican Month, Alzheimer's Awareness Month, CARICOM Energy Month, Kiwanis Family Month, Lung Cancer Awareness Month, and the month usually is indicative of the celebration of global entrepreneurship. Usually between last week and this week. I think it was last week, Global Entrepreneurship Week. And usually around this time we're observing Civil Service Week. If it's not this week, then perhaps it was last week. I'm just trying to not to miss anything. But hello to the civil servants, salute to you. civil service week,
whether it's this week or was the previous week.
We haven't been able to
to
find that
on
on the
website.
And
This week, though, we can tell you
is
Pesticides
Awareness Week. It's Army Day in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Day of National Revival in Azerbaijan, Malabo Fiesta in Equatorial Guinea, the President's Day in the Marshall Islands, and Prince Charles's birthday being celebrated in Fiji. It's International Students' Day. Hoy es miércoles el 17 de noviembre 2021. Y les saludo de cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición del programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes, desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. Come back. C'est mercredi le 17 novembre 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service pour une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. Come back. All we're saying is it's Wednesday, the 17th of November, 2021. And we greet you well wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to both sides of the story. Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
What would you say to the coming of a brand new day when the shadows are falling away, even from the eyes of your express it if you might. As the passing of the night, how do you tell everybody everything will be well? And the sound of the spitting of the bell is just too good to ignore. You say, hey, my man, that's your brother on the street. You say, hey, my man, every time we meet. Ooh, hey, brother, equal man, hey, sister, shake a hand, it's a brand.
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you can download from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We thank you if you're one of those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States and the United Kingdom. Those in the United States who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631 359 8281. 631 359 8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330 606. That's 0330 or 0330 606 0953. 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, we'll tell you more in just a moment.
That's your brother on the street.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30.
The Scientific Research Council Conversations in Science series is designed to engage and sensitize the public, students at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, and experts in the fields of science and technology. On Friday, November 19th, recognized as International Men's Day, the SRC will host the fourth staging of its virtual series under the theme Men of Science Leading the Way, creating a better world for our men and boys, with the hashtags Men in Science and Better Role Models for Boys.
Let's face it, these haven't been the best of times, but they aren't the worst of times either. At COK, we recognize that some of our members are finding it challenging navigating the new normal. But that's why we have initiated the COK Debt Amnesty. If you are having difficulties repaying your loans, come in, talk with us, get a waiver of up to 100% of the penalties due. Call 764-1509 or email amnesty@cokcu.com.
Dr. Jackie Campbell is on call Wednesday evenings at 8 with Powering Your Health. November is Diabetes Awareness. Discuss the basics of diabetes and the role of a diabetes educator and the impact of diabetes on women's health. Tune in and hear an exciting, healthy conversation with Dr. Jackie Campbell as she focuses on eye, mouth, and foot care. Powering Your Health is brought to you by 6 West Medical, 6 West Street, Old Harbour, St. Catherine. Jamaica Plumbing Supplies Limited. Let's Save Water. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Benson Pharmacy, 11 Main Street, A2 Old Harbor. And Daisy Health Technology, monitoring health to blossom. That's Powering Your Health this Wednesday, November 17 at 8 p.m. Only on Power 106 FM.
Step into the light of day. We're gonna find us a way that we knew all along. Love is a thing, or a beggar, or a king. And peace grows wings when love is the song. Whoa, whoa. Hey, the man, that's your brother on the street. You say, hey, the man, every time we meet. Whoa, whoa. Hey, brother, equal man. Hey, sister, shake your hand. It's a brand new day. And we can say it anyway. But what we really want to say is love, 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 love. Hey, little man, that's your brother on the street. Ooh, ooh. Hey, little man, every time we meet. Ooh, ooh. Hey, brother, equal man. Hey, sister, shake your hand. It's a brand new day. We can say it anyway. But what we really want to say is love, 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 love. Hey, my man, that's your brother on the street. You say, hey, my man, every time we meet.
Come back. So we gave you the coordinates for dialing a number to listen to Power 106 FM. The number from the UK, 0330 606 0953. That's 0330 606 0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. We thank those of you who have found other ways and means of listening. If you don't have a Facebook account, you can always watch on YouTube. All you need is a smartphone or a not-so-smartphone, a tablet computer, a laptop or a desktop computer, otherwise known as a PC, personal computer. You need internet connection, and you should have a browser on the platform you're using, like Google Chrome, Bing, Safari, any one of those or others. Open a window or a browser, and in the search box, type YouTube, and that space will populate or will be populated with letters before you even finish spelling YouTube. And then after having done that, if you're doing that now, you should see this video trending. If not, then you can, in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you too will be able to watch both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM as we come to you live once again from Home Sweet Home in this library stroke office stroke study, etc. That's where we are. Home Sweet Home, finishing up the quarantine period after having traveled to Florida over the weekend and back. Happy to be back, and happy for the tremendous outpouring of love and support from Jamaicans in Florida. Winnie Anderson Brown, good afternoon to you. Thank you for tuning in. She says, sending you and your listeners love and blessings from Bagatelle. You know, you're the person who popularized or caused Bagatelle to become a household name. From that very first time you called the late Tony Leng, while I was producing that same program, Leng and Company, it was your call from Bagatelle that put Bagatelle on the map. I guarantee you that. Winnie Anderson Brown in Bagatelle in Clarendon. Good afternoon to you. Alexandra Taylor, good afternoon to you as well. Are you in Toronto, Canada? Are you in South Florida? Or will we be able to find you right here in Jamaica? We know you know how to get around, Alexandra Taylor. Good afternoon to you. Velta Wilson is in St. Thomas. Thank you for tuning in. Sophia Nemard is in Newell in St. Elizabeth. And good afternoon to you, Sophia, or Sophia, however you pronounce your name. Is it Sophia or Sophia? You know, in Jamaica, Sophia is Sophia. Well, however you pronounce your name, good afternoon to you, Sophia or Sophia, or even if it is Sophia. Good afternoon to you. Nicola in Mandeville, Manchester. Good afternoon. Golden Brown says, good afternoon. Now you see that Jamaica is not a civilized place, killing left, right, and center. Well, perhaps a manifestation of that pot that has been boiling for a long time, and over time, you know, when you're cooking, let's say you're cooking yam, banana, dasheen, cooking food, and maybe drop a couple of dumplings in the pot, and depending on a couple of factors, you will, and if you're watching it from the vantage point of through a transparent pot cover, you will see it bubbling up and it comes up. And if you had the pot covered and you notice that it's bubbling up through a transparent cover, you either just ease it up a bit and it simmers, it goes down. And then once you close it again and the pressure builds up, it's going to possibly overflow. And that's what's been happening, just like cooking a pot, boiling some food, and it bubbles up at one point, at another point it goes back down, and it bubbles up again and starts to run over. And you mop it up quickly or wipe it up quickly and replace the pot cover, or not leave it slightly off as opposed to fully covered to get it to simmer again, which essentially is what we've been doing for years in this country. There's a flare up, there is some kind of a dispute, whether in terms of entanglement, for want of a more sophisticated term, or whatever the situation is. And there are just so many elements at play. And what it means is that we have to take a scientific, meticulous, and design-oriented approach to addressing this problem. That's really what it can't just be doing the same things we've always done and expecting different results. Because as Einstein says, that's tantamount to lunacy, madness. In the meantime, though, there are things that we can do as individuals, like managing ourselves. Yes, let's take charge of ourselves. Manage ourselves. Manage what our hands do, where our feet go, what our lips speak, manage our emotions. There's a book here for those of you watching. Here's a book, Harvard Business Review's 10 must reads, one of them. This one is on managing self. On managing self. If you're watching on Facebook Live or on YouTube, you can see the book on managing yourself, published by Harvard Business Review. Managing yourself. So we have to start there as individuals, taking responsibility. Each of us taking responsibility for our actions and taking less actions that are going to lead to violence, crime, enmity, envy, hatred, etc. So let us start with the man in the mirror, of which Michael Jackson sings in that recording. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. And man there being used in a generic way to mean woman as well. So if we start there at that granular level, at the individual point, eventually it becomes a rich tapestry as far as the socio-economic fabric of Jamaica is concerned. That's the idea. So let us manage ourselves. And something else we need to do. Here's another book. If you're still watching on Facebook Live and on YouTube, this one, again from Harvard Business Review, on emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. That's another important subject. How we manage our emotions and how, manage our emotions on both fronts in terms of sending and receiving. Whatever emotions we're putting out and whatever emotions are coming at us, and how we manage our own emotions while at the same time being mindful of the emotions of others, not hurting people's feelings, etc. So those are a couple of suggestions for you, Golden Brown, based on your message. We haven't given up, and we will never give up on Jamaica. Never give up on Jamaica. As long as there is life, there is hope, and we'll continue to do all that we can, while we can, for whomever we can, until we can't. And we're committed to doing that in support of Jamaica and Jamaicans at home and abroad. Thank you very much for your message, Golden Brown. Nicola in Mandeville, Manchester, good afternoon. Delia Palmer, welcome. Hello as well to Jacqueline Simmons and Inez Iona Campbell. More in a moment.
To the coming of a brand new day, when the shadows are falling away, even from the eyes of your. Express it if you might, as a passing of the night.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. It's not just the vehicles nor the competitive prices. It's about the experience. It's the joy you get from knowing you're conducting business or vacationing in a safe, comfortable, and convenient way. Karen Car Rental and Tours provides pickups and drop-offs with a well-trained chauffeur. Karen Car Rental and Tours, 14C Cargill Avenue, Kingston, and Lot 36 Bustamante Highway, Mapen, Clarendon. Call 876-613-3074, 754-2023, or 578-2178. Karen Car Rental and Tours. Power Talk on Power 106 FM, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk, taking talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale on Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Crosskell from Wednesday to Friday as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for innovative features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful pair, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Croskill on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays, right here on Power 106 FM.
Every time we meet, ooh, hey brother, equal man, hey sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day. And we can say it anyway, but what we really want to say is love, 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 love. Hey little man, that's your brother on the street. Ooh, ooh, hey little man, every time we meet, ooh, ooh, hey brother, equal man, hey sister, shake your hand, it's a brand new day. We can say it anyway, but what we really want to say is love, 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 love. Hey, little man, that's your brother on the street. You say, hey, every time we meet. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey, brother, equal man. Hey, sister, shake your hand. It's a brand new day. We can say it anyway.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. That's 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, and that number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. We're all over social media: Facebook, Twitter, Skype, Instagram, LinkedIn, BBM, Yahoo Messenger, Tango, WhatsApp, Snapchat, TikTok. Thank you very much for staying with us. Hello to great one Yervis, who says, "Good day, Mr. Malcolm. Great collection you have there." We try. Time is never enough, but we try to finish as many of these books as possible, to finish reading them from time to time or as often as I can. There are those which represent years of data collection, and we use them as a reference material from time to time. Thank you very much. Let's continue now with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. This one says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I must say thanks very much to you for making time for our text messages. It's highly appreciated. Have you ever read about beautiful Jim Key, the most intelligent horse?" Richard. Well, thanks for bringing that one to our attention, Richard. We'll check it out. Thank you very much. Thank you. Keep those messages coming in. Remember, we're taking your messages as well on our WhatsApp line, same as the text line, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Let's get around to clearing our backlog of messages right now, even as we sift through those the program and those that are to be dealt with off air. Let's see, what is this now? We'll have to check on this. Corey Hyde in the UK. We're just looking at some information that you've shared with us. Thank you. We'll talk. Paul Harrison, doing great work as well. We'll have to talk to you, Paul Harrison. Another one. Let's see. Let's go to, just trying to go through quickly. Sophia or Sophia. Hello, Sophia Pinnock. All is well, thank you very much. Good day to you. Sophia Pinnock from NCB. Good afternoon to you, and thank you very much for joining us here on both sides of the story, Horror 106 FM. We appreciate your usual input, your usual support. Thank you. Let's do a quick scan of what's trending right now as we bring you up to date with what's happening at home and abroad here on both sides of the story, Horror 106 FM. In the meantime, feel free to call us on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. The Gleaner is reporting man freed of St. Thomas double murder, lawyer to seek charges against cops. The prosecution was forced yesterday to offer no evidence in a double murder case after the witness said the police pressured him to lie about the accused man. I wonder what will become of those police personnel. Sure, we can't be leaving it here. Hold on, let's see. Following the disclosure in the St. Thomas Circuit Court, the Crown offered no evidence against 30-year-old laborer Delano, Delando Brissett of 11 Miles, Bull Bay, St. Thomas. Justice Martin Gale, who was trying the case, then freed Brissett of the murders of Javon Russell and Jerome Bogle, who were shot and killed on January 30, 2018. Attorney at law Patrick Bailey, who represented Brissett, indicated that he was going to write to the Director of Public Prosecutions for her to consider bringing charges of attempting to pervert the course of justice in relation to what the witness had said about the police. The witness had testified that about 9:50 p.m. on January 30, 2018, he was traveling in a taxi heading for Yala Square in St. Thomas. He said his cousin Russell was also in the taxi and Bogle was the driver of the cab. The witness said he was sitting in the back of the taxi and while traveling, the car was signaled to stop. The driver stopped and two men, none of whom he knew before, boarded the taxi. On reaching Montpelier Square in St. Thomas, the men came out of the taxi and one of them pretended to be paying his fare to the taxi driver. The witness said suddenly both men pulled guns and one started firing at Russell and Bogle. He said he ran from the taxi while one of the gunmen was firing at him. He said he managed to jump over a fence and escape. He said while he was in custody at the Bath Police Station in St. Thomas for an offense that was not related to the double murder, the police kept pressuring him to say it was Brissett who murdered Russell and Bogle. He also said in his evidence, "Me get so fed up, me all escape custody." He was subsequently taken to an identification parade, and the witness said, "Because them still a pressure me point out Brissett, but it's not him do the crime, cause all me say was the man them a wear red and white Gansey." That's Barbara Gale's story of the man who has been freed of the St. Thomas double murder. And now his lawyer is seeking charges against the cops. Of course, that's attempting to pervert the course of justice. And those policemen need to answer for their actions as was presented in court. Not good at all. Can't be good. Can't be good. Can't be good. Let's see. There's some controversy about that second goal in the Reggae Boys versus USA encounter. We want to take a look, just take another look at that in a little while. But quickly, some other stories trending. Pfizer vaccine now available to people 50 years and older. That's another of the stories trending right now. Jamaicans 50 years and older are now able to access the first and second doses of the Pfizer vaccine. Previously, the health ministry was only administering the vaccine to students 12 years and over. To become vaccinated, members of the public are encouraged to make an appointment using the Ministry of Health and Wellness's website or by calling the National Vaccination Call Center 888-1-LOVE. That's 888-663-5683. And the website is moh.gov.jm. And you can learn more about the Pfizer, the administering of the Pfizer vaccine. And that gang trial, Klansman gang trial, continues. IMF predicts economic growth of more than 8% for Jamaica. The story is that the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is predicting economic growth of more than 8% for Jamaica this financial year. The IMF also warned that while the economy is recovering, the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic poses a significant risk that could lead to a more prolonged disruption of tourism, trade, and capital flow. In a statement issued today following the conclusion of the 2021 Article 4 mission, the Washington-based financial institution noted that tourism has rebounded to near 70% of pre-crisis levels, despite 2 COVID-19 waves this year, and other sectors have picked up as well. That's the information coming through. So let's see how that all unfolds. It's good to hear of 8% growth, but then we need to be mindful of where we're coming from, as in pre-COVID-19, and where we have been since COVID-19 in terms of growth, and how much more we'll need to do to get not just in line with where we were before COVID-19, but to surpass that ultimately. We'll come back to more of the trending stories in a moment, but let's hear what Richie Nibar has to say. He's calling us on the WhatsApp line. We see his line is reconnecting. Looks like he's on now. Good afternoon, Richie Nibar. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir Malcolm. How are you doing today?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good. I'm good.
What's on your mind this afternoon?
There was the fire up in the Isle of Selassie, neighborhood at Payne Avenue yesterday. The house actually burned down to dust. 3 fire trucks answered to the call, and when the 3 of them got there, one of them only have half the amount of water on board and was not able to control the fire. I watched a person's house burn to ash.
We're gonna find us a way all along.
It's a sad situation. I just wanted to share it with you, knowing that it's it's the neighborhood of my past high school that I look forward to in doing for every year. This coming Christmas is going to be a special year for the kids in the neighborhood, and I just if the fire engines and fire trucks doesn't have water, then where can we go from here, Mr. Malcolm?
We can do what needs to be done once and for all, for starters. Are you still there? I'm saying we can do what we can while we can, for starters.
Yes. It was sad. I hope that in the future something like this doesn't repeat itself. Um, because when a person, especially a person who doesn't not being able to afford building back their home and watch their house, go up in flames, and it's because of another neighbor making a fire in his yard. That was so sad.
I have to tell you, I've seen that before. I recall at a certain place, and a, a gardener was trying to get rid of some insects, some wasps or some other insect, and started a fire to get rid of the wasps. And in no time, the entire building, I watched that before my very eyes. I had to call the fire brigade, actually. I was the one who called the fire brigade. And so imagine as a gardener, you're there trying to do your job, and you end up burning down the home of your employers. I'm not sure what became of him and the neighbors, but we did see that. We did see that unfold, and we were helpless until the fire brigade got to the location.
But the fire brigade getting there and don't have any water should never even been a thought, and said they were coming from another fire and they were low on water. And because of the water situation in the neighborhood, I live in a state here that if you light a fire in your yard, and I used to say that it's annoying, but now I see where they're coming from. In certain sections in Massachusetts, if you are allowed a fire in your yard with a hose present, and you have to have so many feet away from your neighbor.
Sorry, hold a moment, please. One moment.
We're gonna find us a way that we knew all along.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:03 on Power 106.
Experience crazy low prices during the Home and Things Mowing Madness sale. Yes, get big discounts on all mowing faucets, sinks, and bathroom accessories. Not to mention huge discounts on bathroom fixtures, lighting, windows, doors, and much more. Check out the new arrivals of tiles at ridiculously low prices. You can't afford to miss the Mowing Madness sale at Home and Things, Woolworth Road and Constant Spring Road. Top quality products at unbelievable low prices. With prices this low, you think we're going insane?
The following is a public service announcement from Power 106 FM. Jamaica. Each wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the added danger of variants, has brought unprecedented pressure on public resources. Our hospitals and healthcare workers at breaking point. Our economy battered, families in mourning, and our children face an uncertain future due to learning loss. In this race against COVID-19, we must stay in it to win it. We must continue using techniques that can help to beat the virus. Follow COVID-19 mitigation measures, including wearing masks, sanitizing, 6 feet of physical distance from others. And on this leg of our relay, we can win with vaccination. These safe and proven vaccines can make the difference against COVID-19. And now that vaccines are in supply, let's get vaccinated so we can get back on track and keep winning. The finish line against COVID-19 is in sight. And with true Jamaican determination, we can all have the victory. Brought to you by your friends at Power 106 FM.
So we ain't giving up, no. We put up a fight. We got to be ready. First I'm getting treated. Just said, don't you worry.
What would you say to the coming of a brand new day when the shadows are falling away, even from the eyes of your...
Thanks for holding. Go ahead, please. Yes, go ahead, Richie.
Yes. So I was saying here, in my neighborhood, if you have a fire going and if you're in certain sections, like in Wilbur, Mass, and where the houses are more like about 200 feet apart, you allow a small fire, but the holes have to be present, and they're so many feet away from your neighbor. Where I live is more a little thickly settled district, meaning the houses are closer, and you cannot start a fire. If you start a fire, the fire brigade comes over and put it out and warn you. The next trip, they will charge you and send you a bill. And I used to say it's annoying, but it's really a precaution that they take, and it's prevention is better than cure. I wish people would really consider lighting fires without running water, especially where water is limited in your hose or your faucet. It would help, and it would help someone who are homeless now. And it is a sad situation. But I just hope that the people do better. And Mr. Malcolm, quickly before I go, I hope this Christmas the wealthy people will think about giving something to the poorer kids in the neighborhood who struggle to see Christmas. I hope more people will reach out and try to do something for the poorer community that can use a little helping hand or do something that would brighten the kids' life and brighten their heart. When I was a kid growing up, I remember every Christmas my uncle would come from the U.S. and I really look forward to that toy or that gift coming to me. It was so much joy in my heart that I remember being a child in my childhood days. It was really amazing, and I hope more people who can afford it will reach out to the kids this Christmas.
We hear you loud and clear. Thank you very much for your perspective. All the very best.
Thank you very much for listening to me. God bless you. Have a pleasant evening.
You too. Take care. Richie
Richie
Nibar
Nibar
in
in
Massachusetts. Speaking with us here on your program. Both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website. Go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-411225. 876-922-411225. Hello to Jamaica Lynn on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Pearl Brown says, Sir D, good afternoon, Sir OMG. I hear you talk about managing ourselves. Oh, yes. You are such a great person to listen to. Let's look at ourselves in the mirror. Every morning I look in my mirror. I am more beautiful than ever at 73 years old. And it's not only on my face. It comes straight from the heart. Great love for self and others. About SOS, sir, it's not and will not work. Why? These criminals, watch out for them. They're mostly stationed at one place, like they are at Heroes Circle and can't even quint with respect, but you know what I'm getting at. Sad to have people watch each other. The money the government using to pay soldiers, police. We have some great FBI in community. Find them, pay them, and believe me, especially shootings, killings will stop. Sir D, what do you think? You're a brilliant man. You're very kind. You have SOS here. I suspect you mean SOE, state of emergency. The state has a duty to protect its people. That's fundamental. The state is duty bound to see to the best interest of the people, not least of all the
this
safety and security of the people. And the state must take steps necessary to create a safe environment for its people. We can always debate the how, and the how will always be debated. What is clear is that if the patient is bleeding incessantly, non-stop, we have to stop the bleeding. We have to stop the bleeding. But we're stopping the bleeding not to the point where we think we have solved the problem by stopping the bleeding. What we would have done is to cauterize the problem. We've stopped the bleeding. Now, once we have stopped the bleeding, it means we have to go to work. The surgeons have to go to work once the bleeding has stopped. If even, however temporary that stop is. But what it means is that we have to go to work. While we are stopping the bleeding by virtue of presence. And in most countries in the world, the presence of the security services makes a difference. Presence. Their presence makes a difference. There's no question about that. In most countries in the world, there's a general respect for the rule of law. Even if as individuals we flout the law from time to time or invariably. And so you try to, as it is now, there's an attempt to stop this latest episode of bleeding. Because ever so often this country bleeds. And we stop the bleeding. And apparently don't go far enough beyond just stopping the bleeding. Until the country starts bleeding again, we get back into stop the bleeding mode, and we keep having to stop the bleeding. As opposed to engineering more long-lasting solutions to the problem. Now, it is clear that this country has been the people of this country have been, well, too many people in this country have been in bed with crime and violence, literally and figuratively. We have been people, whether you want to go back to in history to slavery time, etc. My thing is though that sometimes that gives people an escape route when we hearken to slavery, for example. So people feel they don't need to take the blame then. See, it's not we. And we set it. Right? The slave master then set the thing. And so the thing set. So I'm not even into that. My thinking is right now is that we are the new slave masters. We are the ones who are turning our communities, some of our communities, into prisons. We are the ones who are robbing each other, who are raping each other, who are killing each other. So we are the new slave owners in this country. We are the ones who are inflicting violence on ourselves and on our people. And what that tells us is that the problem is deep. When you have a country that celebrates violence, we have artists, for example, whose names conjure up acts of violence. Because you have to be the wickedest thing, the baddest thing. A country that celebrates badness. A country that celebrates lawlessness.
when you
when
can
you can
have
have
so
so
many
many
people
people
who,
who,
notwithstanding
notwithstanding
that we've
that
had
we've
a
had a
case
case
that has
that has
gone through
gone
the
through the
court
court
system,
system,
and yes,
yes,
there
there
is an
is an
appeal
appeal
at this
at this
stage.
stage.
Oops,
Oops,
one
one
moment.
moment.
Let's take the
Let's take
break
the
and
break
come
and
back.
come back.
Of the night and the coming of the light.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
16
16
minutes
minutes
past
past
3
3
o'clock.
o'clock.
The Scientific Research Council Conversations in Science series is designed to engage and sensitize the public, students at the primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, and experts in the fields of science and technology. On Friday, November 19th, recognized as International Men's Day, the SRC will host the fourth staging of its virtual series under the theme Men of Science Leading the Way, creating a better world for our men and boys, with the hashtags Men in Science and Better Role Models for Boys.
ATC Freight and Shipping is here for you during this COVID-19 pandemic. Whether you ship commercial cargo, crates, full container loads, less than container loads, barrels, or personal boxes, we can handle. We offer services from China, Canada, Panama, Curacao, and through our agency, we offer worldwide shipping services. Low and competitive rates with professional customer service. Give us a call today, 876-630-1515. ATC Freight, the service professional.
The Bureau of Gender Affairs of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport presents a focus on
Power Talk on Power 106 FM, finding solutions to the challenges we face in a globalized world. Power Talk, taking talk radio to another level. Join Dr. Herbert Gale on Mondays and Tuesdays and Simon Croskill from Wednesday to Friday as they provide riveting analysis on the issues of the day and speak with stakeholders charged with driving innovation to move Jamaica forward. Tune in for innovative features designed to showcase local developments and highlight how the global issues of the 21st century are being addressed. That's the powerful pair, Dr. Herbert Gale and Simon Croskill on Power Talk, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. weekdays, right here on Power 106 FM.
We can say it anyway.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. We were making the point that we've been celebrating violence for a very long time, domestic, uh, gang related, uh, all kinds of all kinds of acts of violence, and we're reaping. We continue to reap from what we have sown. In the early days of this young democracy, the cinemas were quite numerous, quite pervasive, and there are certain values that would have been transmitted through these films in those days. Think of a young nation, a people trying to find themselves, and all the elements that they have been exposed to from at that time. They were exposed to at that time. It's a combination of issues. Now, how we tackle it is a function of being able to identify the root causes and taking, as we like to say, a scientific, meticulous, and design oriented approach. Yes, we must stop the bleeding, but in the meantime, I'm thinking, and I don't want to say too much on this because I don't want to give away in terms of security strategies, etc. But the times that we have spent in some of these communities, we haven't been able to strategically, and I'm trying not to spell it out too much, strategically strategically deploy certain assets, certain tools, certain technologies to be able to deal with a situation where when the security forces move out, certain people don't move back in. And if they do, that certain things will be in place to cause the community to become like a trap for these people. Don't want to say too much more on that, but I'm sure between the army and the constabulary, surely, between the army and the constabulary, surely they must have men and women who are highly skilled and supremely well trained and have the capacity to do what needs to be done to inspire confidence in the security apparatus of this country. Surely we are way behind where we should be at this stage with all the interventions we have had, with all the billions of dollars that have been spent on national security, especially in relatively recent times. Surely we can do more. And one of the things we have seen, and there are glimmers of hope in some of the things we have seen. A number of individuals, a number of suspects who have eventually been charged have been brought before the courts, whether they are members of gangs or otherwise. And yes, some of them have been released because our justice system still works in Jamaica. Whatever we think about it, it still works. And so there are those who will, in fact, be acquitted, whether on the grounds of a technicality or otherwise. This is the system we signed up to. This is our justice system. If we're not happy with certain elements and we want to change it and make adjustments, well, the Constitution has provisions for that. But we agree that this is the system, this is the justice system that we have. And we have seen some glimmers of hope in terms of the work being done by Justice Sykes and his team, as well as the prosecutorial arm of the state. But surely there's a lot more work to be done. A lot more attention needs to be paid to rehabilitation. I know it's easy for us to say, a lot of us, when people commit crimes, some of the most heinous crimes, we just want to say off with the head or something like that. And we want to see that kind of blood for blood, fire for fire response. But we have enough blood and fire in this country, quite frankly. What we need, as the song says, there's a song about love, a reggae song. What we need is love, and to make love flow, or something like that. We need more of that from the standpoint of recognizing that no matter how vicious we believe an individual is, it would make more sense to show that individual another way, as opposed to join that individual in the other way by virtue of how we respond. So it's not easy, but it's going to take time, and we've been saying this for years. And because we've had so many stops and starts, And because of the dynamics of our political system, we're going to be here for a little while, unfortunately. But in the meantime, there are some things we can do to change the way we've been living. There are some things we can do to transform our communities. And the transformation, when you talk about transforming a community, people start thinking of hundreds of millions of dollars being plowed into a community, and the tractovators and the heavy duty equipment moving in and bulldozing what needs to be bulldozed and put up new structures. You could put up new structures until you're blue in the face. If the people, if the people are not chastened, and I hope that's the word I really want. There are times the words just come right off the tip of the tongue, so to speak. And it usually turns out that the right word came up at the right time. But it's, yeah, that we find some way to prevail upon the hearts and minds of our people to get us to buy into that vision. What is that vision we need to buy into? Get us to buy into that vision and stop sending mixed signals, apart from confusing our children with our mixed signals. We are perpetrating and perpetuating the continuation of this madness in this blessed land of ours. We have more than our fair share of men and women of integrity, men and women of decency, even those who have gone astray. When you talk to some of the individuals who who went astray or have gone astray, you recognize that they do have some ounce of value and values inside them. You know that they were taught the right way. Something happened along the way. And unless we're going to look at early intervention where our children are concerned, then we're going to have to deal with it at the back end. And the back end is building more prisons and broadening the correctional services to deal with the growing numbers. So we need to stop that bleeding, not as a stopgap, but towards a more sustainable situation as far as safety and security are concerned in this country. We haven't even started to scratch the surface just yet on this subject. Miss Pearl, thank you for the message. That's what we were responding to. One moment, please. Let's go. I've been talking a lot. What do you think? 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, but also your voice notes. And you can call us directly on WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Just wanted to, one of the things we like to do is to comb through the archives. Very important task, actually, because it is there and then that we are all reminded that a lot of what is happening now has happened before and has happened over the years. A lot of it, which is an indication that we haven't moved the needle in any significant way after all these years of trying to effectively run a country with a high level of civility. Because barbarism is celebrated, and we've been hugging that up for a long time in this country. Yet, ask any tourist, for the most part, who has ever visited Jamaica, who has ever spent some time in Jamaica, and they will tell you that Jamaicans are perhaps some of the most hospitable people in the world. Of all the interviews I've done over these 28 years, interviews with visitors to this country, and all the time we would ask the question, what keeps you coming back to Jamaica? Why Jamaica? And all they can tell us, the people, the people, the people. So we have argued on this program many times before that we are a conflicted people. In a split second, we can move from being brilliant to awful, or from being exceptional to criminal in a split second. And therefore, it seems we have to work on that element which engenders the exceptional, as opposed to feeding that element which leads to and results in the criminal. So that's the dilemma. When we're good, we're good. When we're bad, we're bad. So let us find that thing or those elements which cause us to be exceptional. Once we have identified those, let us so employ those elements that we produce more exceptional people, rather than the opposite, which is having the wrong mix of solutions, which instead of creating more exceptional Jamaicans, we end up creating more criminal Jamaicans. That's something we have to work on because we have some things that have worked and are still working in this country, both the tangibles and the intangibles. So, can we sufficiently, effectively, scientifically meticulously identify those elements that produce exceptional Jamaicans and try to decommission, in a manner of speaking, those elements that create more criminal minded Jamaicans? Therein lies the dilemma. Because what is clear is that we can, like any other human being in the history of the world, we can be one or the other. We can become one or the other. So, what are the elements that would predispose us to being exceptional as opposed to the elements that would predispose us to becoming criminal? Once we have identified those fundamentals, we should be able to get to work in a concerted, all hands on deck approach. We can hope, can't we? That is the hope. That is the hope. Here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Horror 106 FM. What do you think? 876 922 4112, 876 922 4113, 876 922 4114, and 876 922 4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, but your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes. You can call us on WhatsApp, in fact. Let's check out some of these other messages, shall we? Let's go to the text line. This one says, caterpillars. Is that where it starts? Let's check. No. Right. Caterpillars can fly only when they break free from the box they are in. We are locked in neo-colonialism, a box with 4 cubicles: political tribalism, religious schism, pristine capitalism, and romance, lies and deception, which have our brains locked on money worship and prostitution. That's Visionaire's perspective. Visionaire in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland, says caterpillars can fly only when they break free from the box they're in. We are locked in neo-colonialism, a box with 4 cubicles: political tribalism, religious schism, pristine capitalism, and romance, lies and deception, which have our brains locked on money worship and prostitution. What do you think? That's a message from Visionary in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland, on our text line. Let's go across to the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, the same as the text line. And let's see, Miss Pearl sends us a rejoinder. What is she saying here? I love the game. Oh, in terms of football, where does it start? Where does your message start? Let's see. Today. Right. Did we read this message? Yes, we did read that one. This one says, I truly know that if you try one way and it doesn't work, let's get to work. Yes, and do some changes. Eternal Father, bless our land. Lord, we need help. Help. God bless you, Sir D. And then she goes on to say, this is Miss Pearl, Pearl Brown. Sir D, my God, I tell you so many times, yes, I believe, I know you are making lots of changes in this country, but I believe you can do much more. Pray, yes, pray. Get into our Jamaica Parliament. Let your voice be heard more. Sir, I never allow my stepsons or my daughter to watch those gun shows. And I always ask why the government allows those movies to even come on TV. Sir D, I love you. I pray for you. God bless my beautiful Jamaica. Thank you very much. And Miss Pearl also loves football. She tells us, so she has a couple of signs that she has, pictures of which she has shared with us. Go Reggae Boys, win, lose, or draw. Love you, Theodore Whitmore, she says. And there are other messages that we haven't checked in a while on Facebook Live as well as on YouTube. Let's get to those now. Jennifer Stewart, good afternoon to you. Inez Campbell still with us. Faye Weller, good afternoon. Blessings to you too. Dennis St. Bernard, greetings to you too. It's been a while. Thank you for your warm greetings. All the best. Dennis St. Bernard, somewhere in the United Kingdom. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine says, thank God for life. Enna Francis says, Mr. Malcolm, how do you stop the bleeding when the one who is bleeding don't want it to stop? Well, it means that one is going to bleed to death. In other words, we're going to live or die by virtue of what we do or fail to do in this country. So if we don't want the bleeding to stop, then we're all going down with the country, bleeding to death. And I am sure, I am convinced that we have more Jamaicans who are committed to not just stopping the bleeding, but to playing their part in long-lasting solutions and fixes to the problems that we have in this country. Thank you for your message, Enna Francis. Ricardo, still with us, sending lots of greetings as usual. Eddie Fisher says, satisfying with garbage is why politicians keep giving us garbage. You're perfectly correct. You're perfectly correct. Those of us who blindly support one political party or another, instead of being bold enough or instead of the party being open enough to welcome the criticisms and concerns of members of the party, to make changes and to take positions with respect to, for example, associating with people of criminal intent, etc. And Enna Francis says, as a matter of fact, he or she love the blood and enjoy it. Well, this is not a homogeneous group of people in Jamaica, Enna Francis. We know that we're all different. We do things differently. We handle matters differently. But we can try to take along with us as many Jamaicans as possible who we're able to convince that this bloodletting is not the way, that there is another way, that there is a better way. That's the least that we can do as individuals, at the individual level, to stop something from happening or to bring forth information that can bring to justice those contributing to the bleeding. Eddie Fisher says, no checks and balances. Let's come back to that after the break. 3:46 on Power 106. Let's go. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Eddie Fisher says no checks and balances exist in the Jamaican government. Well, there are checks and balances. We can debate the effectiveness of those checks and balances. But we do have checks and balances in the form, for example, of the Auditor General, Pamela Monroe Ellis, not speaking of the individual per se, but the office. The Auditor General, that's one example of checks and balances, the committees that are chaired by members of the opposition as part of the checks and balances and holding people accountable. And yes, it didn't inspire confidence, the decision of the Prime Minister to apart from, well, he will argue that the two main committees of Parliament are still chaired by opposition members instead of all committees, because his rationalization is the other MPs need to learn about parliamentary matters, about what is expected of them, etc. And if they only sit on the back benches without being involved in the process, then uh, it's self-defeating having them there, apart from what they're expected to do in their constituencies. But there is that. We still have a justice system that works, whether we agree with this element or that element of the system or not. We still have a justice system that works. And for, who was it who sent that message? Jack EK, you're not paying attention in class. We're going to have to send you to the naughty corner, because if you were listening, Jack EK, you would have heard what we were saying with respect to glimmer of hope. That glimmer of hope is in the justice system and the work of Justice Sykes. That's the glimmer of hope of which we spoke. We weren't speaking of a general glimmer of hope along the lines that you are thinking. So let's read your message so the listeners can hear. Good afternoon, Dervan. You are total incorrect. No, I am totally correct because I know what I'm talking about. Jack EK. I follow the history. I live in the archives. I know where we're coming from, and I know where we are right now. It's not a perfect place, but we're making a point One of the areas that needs a lot of work is justice, the justice system in this country. A lot of work, uh, more proficiency, more efficiency, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of work with that where that is concerned. But everybody involved in the justice system is a contributor, for better or for worse, a contributor to how the system operates. For example, some lawyers who stretch themselves so thin that cases are being put off until the particular lawyer or lawyers complete certain cases, or they're having a lot of clashes, date clashes, etc. And then there's the element of those who waste the court's time. There are those as well who waste the court's time. And there are other elements, the need to go, and we know some work is being done in this area to enhance even further the employment of technology in the in improving the productivity levels and the efficiency levels within the system. But there's a glimmer of hope. I know it's very easy. We're never into standing in the house and knocking over everything, whether those working or not working, and burning down the house. We're not into that. We're not into that. Uh, we don't want the we want to be smarter than that, quite frankly. But some people are of the mindset, burn it down flat, 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 flat. And then what? Right? The approach has to be smarter than that, much smarter than that. So we're not into burning down the house, Jack EK. We are prepared to identify where there are gaping holes or chasms. We are prepared to identify where the shortfalls are, where the shortcomings are, where the mismanagement is taking place, etc. But if we're prepared to do that, surely we must be prepared to identify and speak about those things that work. Because life is not lopsided or one-sided. That's not how life is. We have good days and bad days, good times and bad times, good leaders and bad leaders, good decisions and bad decisions. Let's talk about both. Let's talk about both. So Jack EK goes on to say, Jamaica is only going to get worse. And we've been saying that for a long time, Jack EK. We've been saying that for a long time. But when you go through the archives, I keep going back to the archives. Remember, those of us who are interested can go back as far as 1834. And there's some data before that as well. But from 1834, I think it was the 13th of September, 1834, when the first edition of the Gleaner was published. When you check the archives down the years, you'll see that we have been at this place for a long time. And that's what we keep saying, because we spend a lot of time going through the archives. All the headlines we're seeing now, apart from COVID-19, all other headlines, we have seen them before. We have seen them before. Those stories have been with us for a long time. But because we are so busy playing petty partisan politics in this country, we have been blinded. We have been blinded. And therefore, we haven't moved the needle to any significant degree. In fact, some would argue that the needle is still where it has always been. And Jack EK says, our politicians are only interested in filling their pockets. Well, Jack EK, you can help us. You can help us if you have information who are filling their pockets. Come forward with the information and let the police do their investigations. And let us bring to justice those who need to be brought to justice. Because I know we have a habit in this country, and we have talked about it before. We like to go to sprawl out on our verandas and in our backyards and in our living rooms and wherever else, and at our cocktail sessions, and we talk about who is what and who did what and who used to sell drugs, and we have all of these things, so we just talk about it elsewhere. Now, instead of coming forward with the information that can then lead to investigation, it's like corruption. We talk about, and again, I remember over the years, I've been doing this program for quite a while now. Where are we now? What year are we in? Yeah, 2021. It's been a long time. Hold on. Yeah, yes. It's been a very long time. And over the years, we have always said it's one thing to just get up every day and say corruption, corruption, corruption. It's another thing to know as a fact that corruption is happening somewhere, and all we do is just share it in the grapevine, or we talk about it. Because some of us love to tell these stories because they make us look good in a sick kind of way. They make us look good. So you see all the brother there, where they, say, him did transport the gun them, and then what happened, etc., etc., and they go through and that. So our people, as we have said, no crime happens in this country in which Jamaicans don't know about and who did what. We know. We know. Are we prepared to come forward? No. Because we don't want an informer. And we don't want a body kill we. Well, we're going to breaking news. We're going to die anyway at some point. We might as well die for a cause. How about that? I'm just saying. So we can't sit on the information only to use it. And I realize that we're in another election cycle. And you can tell because you hear the calls to talk shows. So you hear the politicking continuing. It has never stopped on both sides. On both sides. Because nobody enjoys politicking like a Jamaican, it seems. It's sweet, some of us, to the point that you can hear us while we're on the talk show, laughing at serious matters. Because we're getting in some licks. Watch me and them. Boof, buff, boof. And we feel good. And we hang up the phone. And we wait for the next day or the next talk show. And we're at it again. And that's why we can be fed anything, including nothing. One moment, please. Let's go, studio. Just to finish, the other message from EK, Jack EK, saying, money make them hospitable. And I suspect Jack EK is referring to the Jamaicans in the tourist industry, who we referred to earlier on as being some of the most hospitable. So Jack EK is saying money make them hospitable. But even then, Jack EK, wouldn't you prefer to have well paid, in a manner of speaking, and I'm putting that in inverted commas, well paid people serving us with a high level of hospitality? Isn't that better than the other way? Even if you want to put it down to the fact that it's money, meaning apart from their regular pay, they get tips, gratuity. Yes. But wouldn't you prefer to be served by one who is hospitable as opposed to one who is hostile? I'm just saying, Jack EK. What are you saying? If people are highly motivated, if that's where you're going, let's go there. If people are highly motivated, then they're likely to be performing at a higher level if they're highly motivated. And if money be the motivator, as you put it, then so be it. It does take cash to care, doesn't it? We have bills to pay, don't we? I'm just saying. Donovan Campbell on YouTube says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners home and abroad. Thank you very much for the greeting, Donovan Campbell. And a couple more. I think we read those already. Let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Sorry, that person got tired of holding. Can we try another line? 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, 876-922-4115. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:05. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:05. 现在几点了？4:05. 5 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon, here in my home office and library in somewhere in Jamaica. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? And it's not too early to ask that question. But we also want to ask the question, have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Here's Miss Pearl sending another rejoinder. She says, Sir D, that reading from that man in Westmoreland is so right. Oh God, we are listening. Sir, you just said it. There's a better way. Jamaican people nice. It's only a few messing up the place. Not boasting, but I'm doing my part. Thanks be to God. And she says, Sir D, I will not be able to listen to you for a few days, so I'm doing it all today. Have a great weekend. That's fine, Miss Pearl. It means that you're busy. And busy is a good thing. All the best to you, and thanks for tuning in. And someone has sent us, who is this now? Not sure who this is, but someone has sent a picture. Looks like mother and child. Maybe that was sent in error. I don't know. Good afternoon to the mother and child in that picture that was just sent from the number that starts with 990. Let's continue. Here's another message. Well said, Dervan. Too many off the cuff remarks that are not rooted in facts. We seem to want to extend our veranda talks to both sides of the story. Thank you for your message, Eureka. To the phone lines once again, 876 922 4112 to 5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Are you there? Good afternoon. I am giving thanks for life. And you? The reception is not the best, but we'll try to suffer through it. Go ahead, please. Yes, but it's just a bad line. But try your best to speak up and speak out, and we'll do our best to hear you. You're very kind. True. Yes. Mm-hmm. Well, there you go. It's mhm. Clearly what makes me feel good. I mean, I people will listen to me because I always have some sus or some information to spread. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. True. True. Key word there, as I was sharing, was it yesterday or the day before that I I had to go somewhere to do some business safely. Uh, a couple of places actually. And Jamaicans are grateful people. When we are grateful, when we really appreciate that you have done something for us, we feel like we need to reciprocate. And I don't know if it was just to show me something or give me something to talk about. And I'm not talking the individuals involved, but just maybe by divine intervention, perhaps. I don't know. But what I saw were satisfied people who were uh, crushing some kind of money in the hand and passing it to a security guard here and a, a, a customer service representative there. Now, on the face of it, they'll tell you it's more like a tip because the person was very helpful and so on. But in the same way, that can transform into something else where I pay you to keep quiet or otherwise, or buying a privilege. Thank you very much. And a lot of us, because we love privilege, we do that a lot in this country too. Well, we all fall short, not judging anybody here, but I'm just saying we need to be mindful of these things. And you know, it's good of you. It says a lot about you by what you just said in terms of admitting, because at least you know. Now that is key. At least you are aware. It becomes a problem when we don't see anything wrong with what we're doing. Then it becomes a problem. Sorry. Mhm. Yeah. Where it is, I was looking at, might take a little time to pull down that book now, but there's in one edition a couple of years ago of The Economist Pocket World in Figures, Jamaica was high up in the rankings in terms of some of the most giving people in the world. The statisticians, they did their work on that. And we were up there with some of the most giving people in the world as a country. I know the feeling. Trust me, I'm really hard on myself when I'm ready. Whenever I fall short, I'm really usually hard on myself, and that's yes. Sorry, go. True, true. Yes, you're spot on. Hmm. Yes, indeed, because everything is relative. What is? Hmm. Yes, say that again. Lost a bit of what you were saying. Uh-oh, the the line is getting a little wobbly. Yes, go okay, wobbly than before. Sorry, go ahead. Hello. Uh-oh. Oh no. So sorry. We really wanted to hear the rest of what you were saying. Perhaps we could we could take that call in studio and see if we can do anything to resolve that connection issue. Sorry about that, but we are grateful for the call. And if you're able to call us back, please do. Please do. Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada has joined us. Welcome, Calvin. Good to have you on. Thank you very much and all the very best. And let's hop across to the the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. Let's see. Let's go through here and clear a few more. 876-922-4112 to 5. Those are the numbers to call. Margaret Osborne Lemmy, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Good to have you on board both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And we're going to share with you now, if you don't mind, a bit of history. You know, we mix it up. Let's take the break and come back in just a moment. Let's go. Que hora es en español? Son las 4:18. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:18. Science, TDN le, CDN, Sure Ba Fen. 18 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in this library, office, and study at home. We're still under quarantine or in quarantine. The PCR test, as we revealed yesterday, came back negative, and so I should be out of quarantine after today, because then with that PCR test, you, well, before, without the PCR test, you'd have to quarantine for 8 days. With the PCR test, that quarantine period is reduced with a negative PCR test result. That quarantine period is reduced to 3 days. And since we came back from Florida Sunday evening, it means this is the third day: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we should be good to go after that. Interestingly enough, one of the announcements in Parliament yesterday was that Jamaicans coming back home will, or people entering the country in general from overseas, will not need to do a PCR test here in Jamaica. And yeah, so I'm just saying that I'm sorry that announcement didn't come before before I forked out $20,000 to do a PCR test on Monday. Can I get a refund? Will this change go in retrospect? Oh dear, so it is. Anyway, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Here's H. Morgan in Birmingham on WhatsApp. H. Morgan says, hello, Mr. Malcolm. Listening to your reasoning concerning motivation, I can agree with you wholeheartedly. If a person is motivated, they will perform well. On the other hand, I noticed that some restaurant owners in Jamaica demand that their employees hand over all the tips they receive. That is their business, but I don't think it's right given the low wage those employees receive. Well, stick up in there. There are some companies, what they do is that they collect everything. And in this case, let's say restaurants, for example, they collect everything, and then I'm not sure the basis on which if they go strictly according to the amount of the gratuity that the customer agreed to or made available, or there are other factors that determine who gets how much of the gratuity. But there are some companies, some restaurants, and similar entities that operate along those lines. There are others who are okay with their team members getting as much tip as possible. There are those who have no problems with that, because it does help. As my late mother would say, encouragement sweetens labor. Where's the rest of the message now? Right. So H. Morgan continues. He says, the other thing is, when I was in Jamaica in 2019, I went to a clothing store in Twin Gates Shopping Center, and the way the store owners spoke to their female employees was a disgrace. I could not believe what I was hearing. The owners were of Indian extract. I decided not to purchase any item in the store and went elsewhere. They spoke to the young ladies as if they were dogs. I'm sure they would not speak to their dogs like that. These abuses must stop. These young ladies just seeking to put a bread on their table. Well, I have no time for that. That kind of arrogance and disrespect. Respect begets respect. And some of us behave as if we will be around forever. Some of us behave as if uh, we are it and everyone else is below me. Well, let's be careful how we play those cards because let's just say life has a way. Life has a way. And let's remember the same people we pass on the way up is the same people we'll be passing on the way down. Let's think on these things. We don't know how much time we have left in this world, but the least we can do is to leave this place better than we found it. Let's make our contribution. Let's encourage people. Let's empower people. Let's motivate people. Let's lift up people. If we have to reprimand a member of staff, it's not something that we are supposed to do in front of customers or in front of uh, fellow team members. The way I learned it is that if something is problematic and someone else is involved other than you, get together with that person, move to a quiet place where it's just the two of you, and say to the person, "Look, I really didn't appreciate that what you said just now. I think it was grossly disrespectful, and I'm very disappointed that you took that position." And as big people, we should be able to own up, to say, "Boy, I'm sorry. I'm going through some terrible things right now, and I think what happened just now was just me taking it out on you. Forgive me. I'm sorry, and I I'll do my best to ensure that doesn't happen again." And we move on. Look, we are big people. It's not no picnic business. It's children can get away with hiding here and not, say, yeah, they're children. But as big people, as adults, as rational beings, surely we can work it out. Surely, right? And if we have to express ourselves in a way that we don't offend the person we want to speak with, then let us do it in a quiet place, away from the crowd. And we deal with it there and we move on. It's like as couples, as parents, with you don't want to be doing and saying certain things in front of the children. Because everything that happens in that household, at every step of the way, as long as the children are around, it is going to have an impact on those children, one way or another. So let's be mindful. It's not just at the workplace that we need to settle matters quietly out of the hearing of others. We need to be able to do that at home as well. We have so overexposed our children that they are shouting back at us expletives that we're shouting out in the house. We are so corrupting our children from so early that it is unbelievable. We have to do better than that. Yesterday we played "Where Do the Children Play" by John Jones. That was deliberate because there's hardly any safe place for children anymore. The very home in which they live has become toxic. Toxic. And then when you branch out into the society, into the community, toxic. And in some of our churches have become toxic, as we have seen in the recent past. Some of our schools have become toxic. Some of our corporate entities have become toxic. It's everywhere. And so we have to deal with that, because everything is connected one way or another. Everything is connected. To the phone lines once again. We've been talking a lot, but I feel like I'm being led to speak, and I'm speaking. 876-922-4112. 876-922-4113. 876-922-4114. And 876-922-4115. Are you still there? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Good afternoon. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. Oh, good. You're welcome. Thanks for calling back. All the best. You have more to say? One moment, please. One moment. One moment. Hope you got that, Davin. Let's go. Que hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 26. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 26. 现在几点了？5点cha ar shir liao fen. 26 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here in my home office, library, and study. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the children from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And parents and guardians, do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. We see Robledo, Black Pearl, Michelle saying, Durban, I tried your recommendation in a similar situation. Do you know what the 60-year-old woman responded? Or how she responded? She said, I only spoke badly to you because you spoke badly to me. It may be because you are from New York City. Big people are sometimes little picnic on the inside. Oh, we all know that. But adult to adult, surely we can level with each other and reason with each other. We're supposed to be rational beings. That's the point I was making. But thanks for sharing your experience, Robledo, Black Pearl, Michelle. We also have a call, and we're going to wrap this call now so we can go to this week's edition of Diaspora Check-in. Thanks for holding. Please go ahead. Who's doing that? Yes. Yes, we are aware of that. Mhm. No problem. All things being well, you could call tomorrow. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. And it's time for us to check in on this week's edition of Diaspora Check-In. And who better? Let's go. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm. It's time for Diaspora Check-In. And this week on Diaspora Check-In, we have Regional Director of Jamaicans Inspired, Mr. Corey Hyde. He wears some other hats as well, but we'll stick with that one for the time being. Corey Hyde, good afternoon. How are you? All things considered, we're doing as well as we can at this stage. Eh? Yes, thank you. The the organization Jamaicans Inspired, has it been rebranded? That's why I'm asking. Hold on, keep up your volume a little more for us, and studio can help us as well to balance. Go ahead, please. Mhm. Yeah. And remind us of the purpose of Jamaicans Inspired. And do you drop the UK? Have you dropped the UK at the end, or and just kept Jamaicans Inspired? Makes sense. Broadening your reach. Yes. And you clearly have your finger on the pulse of what's happening or not happening in Jamaica by virtue of your timing, which is rather uncanny. Your timing for hosting this diaspora engagement, crime and violence forum, which is scheduled for Sunday, the 21st of November. Is this something that has been in gestation for a while, and you've decided to, or you're just getting around to hosting it? Or is the timing taking cognizance of the latest national security situation in Jamaica? what can you tell us about the intended outcome? There are those listening to us who are perhaps going, yeah, we have had so many fora. These days, it's okay to say forums, but we've had all these meetings, town halls. We've had all these committees and reports on crime and violence in Jamaica, etc., etc., etc. What is different in this space that you have carved out for diaspora engagement on crime and violence? Let's pick up that point after the break, please. Corey Hyde, Regional Director for the organization known as Jamaicans Inspired. Same one from today. Let's go. Let's go, studio. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 12. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5 heures moins 12. 现在几点了？5点加12分。12 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at home in my library, study, and office. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Let's continue with this week's edition of Diaspora Check-In here on Power 106 FM, brought to you by Western Union. And our guest is Corey Hyde, no stranger to this station or this program. He's Regional Director for Jamaicans Inspired. That's the organization putting on Sunday's Diaspora Engagement Crime and Violence Forum. It's scheduled for 7 p.m. UK time, 8 o'clock in the night in France, 3 p.m. in Canada and the USA. Oh, hold on there, Corey. We're on the same time now, aren't we? Canada and the USA, Canada, the USA, and Jamaica. So, yeah, so if it's 7 p.m. UK time, then we're looking at 2 p.m. Jamaica, Canada, and America. Well, at least the Northeast, Eastern time in America. Yes, we're on Eastern Standard Time. So that's, and France is 6 hours ahead of Jamaica. So it's 8 o'clock their time, 2 o'clock Jamaica time. So 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. in France, 3 p.m. Eastern time in the US and Canada. I beg your pardon, 2 p.m. Eastern time in the US and Canada, and the same time in Jamaica, 2 p.m. So make a note of that, please. Those who are into the habit of finding worthwhile ways to spend their time online, whether it be a forum, a workshop, etc. Well, here's one for you. Jamaicans Inspired Diaspora Engagement Crime and Violence Forum, 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. France time, 2 p.m. in Jamaica and the US, Eastern, the Northeast US, as in Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in both Jamaica and the US, and let's not forget Canada as well. Right, so make a note of that. And the questions Corey Hyde asked going to the break, which are also on the flyer. Are you still connected to Jamaica? How and why? Is Jamaica still the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business? We don't expect Corey to himself answer those questions now, but those questions are worth asking. How have you structured this Diaspora Engagement Crime and Violence Forum for Sunday afternoon, evening, night, depending on where members of the diaspora will be participating from, not least of all here in Jamaica? How have you structured this forum to achieve your objectives? Oh, losing you, Corey? Yes. Yes, it will be a moderated session, you said. Oh, you've been fielding questions already, so you're taking those questions to Sunday's forum. Got you. Sorry. Now I was going to ask about connecting. How can people connect? How can people be a part of of this forum on crime and violence on Sunday at 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. France time, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, same time in Jamaica, the US, and Canada. What do we need to do to connect to be a part of the forum? And hyphen there, another word we could use is dash. Yes. Well, we are happy that we have been able to connect with you this afternoon, but not happy that we are still at this place as far as getting a grip on crime and violence is concerned. We are encouraged that we still have Jamaicans like you and others in your organization, Jamaicans Inspired, who are committed to this country, notwithstanding our concerns with respect to crime and violence. And it should make for a very stimulating, thought provoking, and indeed intriguing presentation on Sunday. And we want to invite those at home and abroad to be a part of the experience. Sunday, the 21st of November, the organization is Jamaicans Inspired, which is comprised of members of the diaspora and those right here in Jamaica as well, and the rest of the world. The facilitators, Corey Hyde, who has been on with us, and Nathaniel Pete, moderator, Soraya Boyne. And I believe you're going to have a guest uh, representative as well. Yes, Kelly Magnus. Yes. For Fight for Peace. Yes. Yeah. They should log on Sunday. Yes. And you'll be live on the Jam in UK Facebook page as well, correct? Great. We're almost out of time now. News time coming up. But thank you very much, Corey Hyde, for this preview. We may or may not get in another word with you before Sunday, possibly Saturday. Who knows? Maybe on Saturday morning if you're up to it. a quick update so that people can be reminded about Sunday's engagement. But for the time being, thanks a lot, Corey Hyde. All the best. Thank you. Take care. Corey Hyde, Regional Director for Jamaicans Inspired. Thanks once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.